American. I just need to bring the chat up here if I can get my mouse to be seen by myself. And I have, so the chat will be up momentarily. So let's see. Welcome to Cause Comics After Dark. I'm not sure what we're doing tonight. I was thinking of practicing some feet. I'm not even sure whether anybody will be here with it being Thanksgiving, the American Thanksgiving. Since most of my listeners are American. Let me share this out too. Oh, it looks like. Oh, did I forget to change the restream? I think so. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so let's go to go live. Okay, so yeah. We also need to change title. I thought there's much to change for the title. Okay, so there we go. We got the right one done. Let's see. Cancel. So we're going to get rid of the one that we shouldn't have here. Because we don't want people too confused. So hopefully I've got the right thing up for chat. Oh yeah, we were about to share this out before we found out that we forgot to do the whole restream thing. Here we go. Custom After Dark. Paste. Enter. And I guess we'll put it up on Parler. Yeah, Parler. Hey, Metal. How are you today?
I'm doing all right.
And happy Thanksgiving. How was your Thanksgiving?
It was a day.
Not sure whether that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Well, it's my least favorite holiday of the whole year, so.
So, oh, what am I gonna draw tonight? Well, we were talking about practicing feet. I did bring up feet, so.
Dude, I was honestly kidding about that. You do not have to be practicing feet.
Okay.
I mean, if Rob Liefeld can't draw feet, nobody has to.
I have no idea what I'm drawing.
Except me. I have to draw feet all the time because I have a barefoot martial artist who goes around kicking people.
Yeah. Oh. Hey, Arlene, how are you tonight? How was your Thanksgiving, Arlene, or is it over yet? Or were you even allowed to have Thanksgiving?
Well, I mean, nobody can really stop you if you try.
Yeah, sure. The only way they can somebody can supposedly stop you is call the police and the police come check
Yeah, what are the police going to do?
Find you, take you to jail?
I mean, maybe.
On trumped up charge. Pardon?
I said maybe you'll live in a better state then. Because I know a lot of the cops around here, most of them are just like, we're not enforcing any of those dumb rules.
Yeah, well, here in Canada, or particularly Ontario and in the Toronto area, the cops were out in force at a business today. You're looking at 80 to 100 cops were there. This guy, they locked Toronto down again. And this small business guy who has a restaurant for brisket and stuff like that, he's decided to open. This was the third day, and there was like 100 cops there to stop people. And in fact, in the middle of the night, they went to his business and changed the locks on him.
Well, there's a taqueria down the street from me who, even though we were given orders that you're not supposed to dine in or anything like that, absolutely never changed the way they handle their business. I don't even think they actually have the sign. Do you have to wear a mask? Everybody does walking into it, but you can take it off as soon as you sit at the table anyway.
Yeah. Let's see, Arlene says, hers was lovely, thank you. And she says, you better have a warrant if they expected me to open the door. By the time they get the warrant, everyone would be gone.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, today, with the third day, they arrested him. They've got him in jail on some charges or whatever. Some stupid, sort of trumped up charges. If you forgive the non-meaning pun.
That is the correct use of that word.
I just mean with Trump's name. What a name. I'm not sure exactly the charges offhand, Timothy. He was apparently there was some problems with his business, some of the health stuff, but I don't think that's really what they arrested him for. Non-compliance to the health Ministry of Health regulations due to the COVID stuff and all that. I think stuff like that.
Well, luckily here in the United States, we have this thing called the Fourth Amendment, where without a warrant, that nobody's allowed to search anything that belongs to you, whether it's personal information, private property, anything like that.
Yeah. Well, there's lots of places. But yeah, well, he had made a video the day before and posted on like Facebook or something like that, saying that he was going to be opening. So it was, sort of common knowledge, that he was about to do this. And it's just because he couldn't afford to shut down for another lockdown, Is this a Canadian thing? I do know they have crazy restrictions in California. I wouldn't say it's a Canadian thing. It's just simply, and I don't know where the warrant stuff goes in or whatever. I don't know enough of the law for that in this instance or whatever. But it's just the whole COVID nonsense, Timothy, why they did it.
Just take a reasonable assumption, right? That the further away you get from the cities, it would be the same in either country, right? Like, I doubt many people are enforcing restrictions out in the Northwest Territories or anything like that.
Yeah. And then again, it just takes some nosy busybody or whatever, for lack of a better way of saying, to complain, and nobody else cares except for this. I think as they would call it, Karen.
Yeah.
And they call, and at that point, people have to investigate. Unfortunately, it's almost as bad, if not worse, than what was it a few months ago? The restaurant and this was in Canada too, out west, somewhere, I forget which province, where the person was dressed up in a Stormtroopers thing with a fake blaster.
Oh yeah.
And they were outside of this Star Wars type restaurant or whatever. And it's like the police couldn't tell that it was a fake blaster, like within 2 seconds of arriving. Had they never heard of Star Wars? It's highly unlikely. Timothy says there was a story last year where 2 people were locked in a store and then they had them arrested for not wearing a mask.
I don't think that was last year.
That would have been this year.
Last year. It's been almost a year since the thing's been effective. We can go all the way back to October, but I don't think any of the restrictions in this country have started until this year.
Yeah, and in the summer, I think, mainly.
In Alberta, the story you're talking about in Lethbridge?
Yeah, I think that's it. Was it what, Timothy? You had to spray paint it orange, laugh out loud. Yeah.
Yeah, it feels like it's been a whole year. I mean, it technically has been since the outbreak happened, but it has yet to be a whole year since the ridiculous lockdown started.
Well, and it hasn't been quite a year since the outbreak started, say, in like China, but for the States, it didn't start to what?
Oh, we can trace that it's been in the country since October.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Arlene said...
Yeah, our restrictions started in March. It hasn't been a full year for the restrictions.
Yeah, well, the lockdown started, but depends what you mean by restrictions, the mask stuff and all that. Masks didn't start really until July.
Started for you guys before us. We didn't go as hard.
Yeah. That's because of our Prime Minister. He's a moron.
Oh yeah, Timothy, it's not exactly 2021. You got a whole month to get through after this, too.
Yeah.
All of December. We haven't even passed Hanukkah yet. Or Christmas, Let alone New Year's, the actual important day for us getting into the next year.
Yeah, it's crazy. And then it was only supposed to be a 2-week lockdown to, flatten the curve and, 6 months later.
So So much is going on. I know it actually feels like 5 years have passed, doesn't it?
Yeah, this has been a long year. I think there's been a little bit more craziness in the States than Canada, but
Yeah. I see. Arlene's even saying that a daughter and granddaughter had coronavirus last December before COVID-19 was a media fiasco. No, it's been confirmed to be in this country since October.
Okay, because I thought I heard
a lot of people had it in November, December.
I thought I heard that it wasn't official till like January something or whatever. Thought I had read that somewhere. Timothy's like, oh shit, Rick, it's been batshit crazy. What a year for your election, though. That's what's made it even more crazy in the last, 3 weeks. Didn't think it could get any crazier.
To be fair, because I know most of the world at least subtly pays attention to our elections, but usually not as much as they have been.
Yeah.
For people in the U.S., though, every election year feels like 5 years. Because unlike other countries, our election cycle starts at like the end of the year before. We have the longest election cycle out of any civilized, society.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous how long it is. And part of it is because how stupid our system is.
Well,
there's so many things that can make it so much more efficient. I don't want to change any of the major mechanics because it's a very good system. It just needs to be tweaked a little here and there.
Timothy says, a point I want to make is the Democrats have said, why didn't Trump do anything? But when have they ever actually done anything? Yeah. Timothy says he's not looking forward to Biden being president. Yeah, well, the good thing but bad thing is Biden is yet to be confirmed as president. It could end up still being Trump, but who knows?
Could end up being neither of them.
Yeah.
That is a strong possibility at this point when you look at the way our system works. Which would be awful, because I think, what is it right now? The interim president, it still falls to Pelosi. That would be even worse.
Yeah, but she's almost being kicked out of the House too, right? She
got reelected in.
Yeah.
It depends. It could flip. There's still a couple seats and stuff up for that would switch it over. It's really close. You could end up getting a Republican majority and her not being speaker anymore. But the way it looks right now, with the way things have been called, she is once again Speaker of the House.
Arlene's saying she hasn't seen a lot of civility this year. And Timothy says, am I right? The Democrats have done nothing to prevent COVID. Yeah. In fact, if you go with New York, I think they helped spread it, especially
they did.
The governor.
Or even worse, maybe not so much spread it, but definitely minorly spread it to most vulnerable people by putting sick people in nursing homes for some reason.
Yeah.
Which that'd be worse than just even.
And all because he didn't want to accept Trump's help of that ship,
It's awful. put sick people in nursing homes. Like, hey, let's find the most critical people on the planet, and let's put them around disease.
Yeah, Timmy says they insist on masks, but it seems not to stop the spread. Of course, because first of all, masks do next to nothing to stop you from getting the virus. But the thing is, there's been a study shown that more people with the masks have gotten it.
Yeah, there's a lot of bad data around that, though, and there's easy ways to explain that. Because a lot of the people who don't wear the masks at all also fall into a large category of people who don't leave their houses. And if you're wearing a mask, it's because you're leaving your house, so you're already upping the chances that you're going to get it. Somebody that's trying to say people should or shouldn't be wearing masks, because there's a lot of different data around it. Yeah. There's just there's a lot of bad data on both sides of people trying to claim one thing or the other.
Yeah. Let's see. Arlene says my caregiver is one of those that wears the mask in her yard and wears gloves all the time. She got COVID anyway.
Yeah. There's another problem too. Is a lot of people aren't practicing good hygiene with their mask, right? So instead of like, this is why I told people get a bandana. Now, bandanas on average aren't going to protect you from something as well as a mask would. Normal thin bandana. If you go to the store and get one that's like as thick as a t-shirt, like just the regular fabric bandanas that are cut into squares, fold that over, making a mask out of a t-shirt. And these fabric ones are actually better fabric. I wear one. When you're done with a bandana, you could throw it in the wash immediately afterwards and it's clean. Some of these people have been wearing the same mask over and over again, so the disease is caught up in the mask, and then you're putting it back onto your face, which is increasing the chance that you might breathe it in again as it loosens up. And then you're putting it back again, so if it didn't get breathed in the first time, it's going to get breathed in like the 5th time that you're wearing it.
Yeah. If it's in the mask.
Yeah, if it's in there in the first place, yeah. But it's like a lot of like bad hygiene is the problem.
Yeah.
A bigger problem too is a lot of too good of hygiene prior to this. You know, you got a whole society of people who have really bad immune systems because we're too clean.
Marsupial's here and he says, "Just get COVID so you'll be immune." Arlene says, "I haven't been too worried. I have been homebound for a couple of years. Sorry to hear that. I have very few visitors." And avoid DRS like the plague initial DRS is. We could just start burning victims of COVID.
See, that would be a bad idea though, right? Because it's an aerosol. So all you're doing is it's not like leprosy. You're just killing people. But as they're breathing out during their final moments, they're actually expelling liquid and stuff like that, getting into the smoke, smoke is mostly water and carbon dioxide, right? So it's getting into that smoke, getting around that you're breathing in. You're actually spreading it faster that way. That'd be a really dumb thing to
do. She says she avoids doctors like the plague. Yeah. When minks get COVID, they come back from the dead. Marsupial. We'll be more of that when the Democrats are done.
I told Marsupial this earlier. So before I went to bed, because I go to bed like early in the morning, but the sun's like already up. My brother, he was making himself a chicken because he's having Thanksgiving by himself. His roommates went to family. He's just at home by himself. I don't know, 45. Maybe 15 minutes away from me, maybe even longer, to like an hour and 10 minutes away. I haven't done the math in a while. And that's by car.
Yeah.
And so he's home alone. He was making himself a chicken for Thanksgiving. And he messaged me in the morning that he started playing the original Final Fantasy from the beginning. And then about the time that I was eating dinner with my other brother and my mom got together. He sends me a message later in the evening that says, "I finished it."
Oh wow!
Yeah. So he did it all in one sitting. It was a long sitting, but in one sitting.
But then again, he probably know.
I've been saying that for a while, that you could do it in a single sitting, and we've done it many times growing up. He just felt like doing it today.
Yeah, it's probably because he knows where everything is and what to do.
Yeah.
I think I was just playing earlier today for a bit, and I think I did something stupid. I'm not sure whether it matters or not. I went to the caravan in the one desert. I got the bottled fairy, and then as soon as I got out of the store, I let it loose, and it flew off somewhere, and I have no idea where.
Oh, NES version Marsupial was the one we played growing up. He wanted some nostalgia. Because we've done that in the past. Like, it was a thing we did on Thanksgiving. Is one of the games we just boot up and beat it in a day. But usually we'd play together, so you'd have like the collective memory of everybody. But at this point, I think each of us have remembered enough of it that we could beat it by ourselves in one sitting. Usually I remember things more as I'm playing through. It's kind of like that, is it like procedural memory kicks in? It's like, I know where to start, and then the next step pops in after I've done that step. Random step throughout the way, it'll be a struggle for me to remember.
And no, Timothy, not a bottle of homo. Fairy, as in, Peter Pan type fairy. Like, what's her name? Tinkerbell.
Well, Tinkerbell is a pixie.
I thought they were fairies.
Like pixie dust.
No.
What? I mean, a pixie is a type of fae folk, so it's not wrong to call it a fairy. Yeah, it's just me being a little,
facetious. Okay, like in Link. Link. The Adventures of Zelda. There.
You put fairies in bottles all the time in The Legend of Zelda.
You keep talking. Gave people in jars, Rick. No, I don't. You're misinterpreting my things. My whatever's. My language. My words.
It's funny, the word fairy comes from the word fae. Right? It's actually Gallic people. You see it in Ireland, you see it across what they call Low Germany. Scandinavian part where you have like Germany, a lot of the like Czech area and stuff like that too. And fairies, typically, I mean, it's a wide range of things. And everybody likes to put fairies like there's these nice, sweet little things, but no, they're tricksters. It isn't of Irish origin. Well, it's of Gallic origin, which are the people who settled in Ireland. The Gauls actually started, and then they kind of worked their way around. But yeah, the fays typically eat people.
They'd have to be big. They'd have to be pretty big to be eating the people.
They just swarm them.
Oh, okay. Swarm of fairies.
They're typically tricksters, but fae is literally just a classification as well. So you do have things that are like what we classically think of fairies now, but like I said, leprechauns are technically fae. The Puck, not quite as big as a man, but pretty close, with like horns and goat legs, and they're a fae. If you're a talented person and impress a Puck, they'll just come home and start doing your chores for you, because they're always looking for a master to serve who's really talented. It's actually a really broad category of creature. Even the leprechauns are too straight as fairies, and their mounds that they claim to live in are called fairy mounds.
There is a Marvel character called Puck. Yes, but he's called Puck after a hockey puck. Now, if you go with Gargoyles, there is a character Puck in that as well, and he's more based off of what Metal was just talking about.
Actually, another popular Puck in fiction now is in the most recent God of War, the god Mim, who was bound by Odin to a tree, and you have to chop his head off to take and bring it back to life, so you could take him with you. Is Puck, who had wandered his way up there. When you get to his room too, you see that there's like a Gallic dagger with the Celtic insignia on there, and or the like the Celtic cross, right? It's called a Celtic, and also speaks about coming from the island and stuff like that.
Well, although one thing I would not advise is taking one finger from each hand, putting in your mouth, stretching your mouth sideways, either way with them, and trying to say the word puck. I would not suggest that.
I don't need tricks to make that word, Rick. I just won't say it on your channel.
Nobody needs tricks to say that word, but... Not saying anybody needs a trick to say it, but... Yeah, I did it when I was a kid, I think. Especially when wasn't told what it would do at first.
Now, fairies specifically liked to eat children, and it's because fae folk were weak to the natural elements, or specifically iron, which is, the core component of most of our weapons. Adults typically carried blades around with them. Children didn't, though, so they made them very easy targets to lure in and devour. Well, a grown man, you might lose half your tribe in the process.
Now they're using the word puck in the chat in place of another word.
Oh, and I wanted to let you know, Rick, I just patched Blade and Soul is ready for tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Turn that off. Boom.
You finally figured out your password?
No, it wasn't that I figured out. Because I actually went and I looked it up in my browser as well, because Brave saves all your passwords. And it was exactly what I typed in. I just went in and it did today. I guess there was some problem with their server at the time. So it wasn't that I was putting the wrong password in. It literally was not accepting it.
Oh, lovely.
But it did on first try this time, so, whatever. It's patched and ready to go.
That's all that matters, right? At this point. That it's working. Who cares why it wasn't working before? So, do we got anything else interesting to talk about?
There's plenty to talk about, Rick. It just depends what you want to talk about.
Yeah.
Take over and talk about mythological creatures for hours. That's my specialty.
Definitely not my specialty.
Yeah. Like, I know that to some degree it sounds like I've got a cursory knowledge in almost everything, but you actually want me to get deep into something, then we can start talking about mythology. And then the creatures that inhabit it, that's actually the thing I've invested the most time into.
Timothy says nothing. I just woke up from a lot of turkey. Now that's interesting. Yeah, mythology is definitely interesting.
You could see that influence in my work too. Like, there's all kinds of like pulls from mythology, especially the creatures in it.
I'm probably gonna end up putting some of the mythology stuff in mine, but mine will probably be more the bad guys. Actually,
a consultant on any of that.
I plan to do something similar to, say, Stargate, where my mythological guys are all going to be aliens. Now, I could have went probably demons, but which they may or may not have been, but I just wanted to do something different than what normal Christian stuff would go to.
Yeah. Yeah. I do a mixture of things with stuff because I do there's a lot of cross pollination between mythologies.
Yeah.
When it comes to mine, because I have to try to figure out how to explain things from multiple perspectives at once. So there's some things that are unique to just their thing, but then there's to just their system. But then there's some things where it's like it's the same thing, just a different way of explaining it from multiple systems. And kind of like how I have my tree of demonology split down by like family order.
Yeah.
So it's a suborder to the just general harpy family when it comes to demons.
Well, Timothy says
like Lilith and stuff like that too.
Yeah, Timothy was saying I was thinking of more backstories for creatures and whatnot. I might pass things through metal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see here. Really quickly try to bring up some of my things. And I ended up, a lot of them that I've got at the moment, I had some look and I knew I want to do this thing that I'm going to call War of the Gods. I'm not sure when I'm going to do it. All the various quote unquote gods come back, trying to get worship, from human beings again and the aliens or whatever.
Yeah, some of the deities in my world are currently missing at the point in time that we're in. Nobody knows where they are.
Now, I only actually focused on the Roman ones, or at least the Roman names, because I figured DC. When I was first doing it, Rome, DC had like the whatchamacallit ones.
The Hellenistic names?
Yeah, the Greek names. Marvel had a lot of the Norse, so I figured, I'll just do the Roman ones.
Yeah, but the Roman ones are the Hellenistic gods.
Yeah, well, just with different names, though.
Yeah. There are some slight differences to the stories too.
Yeah.
Because they value different things in Rome, right? than Greece did. Call it Greece. It really wasn't Greece at the time. It's just, retroactively referred to it. Depending on the era, it goes anywhere between the Mycenaeans all the way to the Macedonians.
Here's my Vulcan.
Vulcan. Hephaestus.
Yeah, let's see. We got Jupiter.
It's funny too. Is that we say that word wrong?
Yeah.
I mean, we say most of the words wrong, but that one we say really, really wrong. And we say it really wrong because the J sound didn't make the J didn't make that sound that we know J makes now. In that culture, so it actually would have been pronounced Jupiter.
Jupiter.
Jupiter, and it just sounds so weird because of the way the language has progressed.
Yeah.
That it's like, no, it's Jupiter. What are you talking about?
Let's see. Timothy also said most of my backstories are from my upcoming webcomic and some of the first issues of Melvin, specifically the creature of Melvin #1. What is it, and why is it a rare creature? I'm not sure what he's talking about. This is my Mercury. Some of these, like I said, I had looks for other things I had done. Let's see. Sumerus, I'm not sure how you pronounce it. Sumaeus? Sumomos? Summanus. I know it has something to do with the underworld. Pardon?
I actually have to look at this word in front of me to know which one you're talking about.
Summanus.
Oh, Summanus. Yeah. Summanus. With an A sound. They'll even say that's how Latin translates it. The problem is that would not flow. It would not be Summanus. So that is how some historians will say it's pronounced if you want to go with them.
It's no surprise sometimes you don't pay attention to the chat. I'm paying attention to the chat. And hello, Eagle. And this is Calais. My version. I made him Superman type, as you could probably tell. Because, like he's supposed to be the sky god or something to that effect. But, oh god. Saturn.
Now, you don't have a different person for both Summanus and Pluto, do you?
Don't think so. Well, I haven't.
Many scholars believe that it would have been common knowledge at the time that those were just two different representations for the same being.
Okay. Yeah, because I remember reading that most of the planets are named after the Roman ones, but I think, was that the Greek one, Plutos? Or am I thinking of Hades?
Oh no, Pluto is the Roman name for Hades, or as we say, Hades.
No. Do we got any more? Oh, I do have one more. Do I know for sure? Venus. Or Venus. I think that's all the ones that I've gotten anyways.
Venus. Yeah, I don't know. I've always preferred the Hellenistic names.
Oh yeah, I know most of the quote unquote Greek names and all that, so.
Yeah.
Are those back legs on her insect legs on her back? Probably is what you're referring to her wings, I believe, Timothy. Oh, my Neptune. Gotta go rinse out the paintbrushes. Okay, later, Arlene. Have a good day. You're talking
It's
about
actually, what were you saying?
I was just gonna say, is he talking about these red things on her back?
Yeah.
Because, yeah, those are supposed to be wings.
Yeah, the way you drew them, they do kind of look like large, like, insect legs, like on an antlion or something like that.
Yeah, I can see that a little bit.
Yeah, currently in X Dynamis Chaos, if we're talking to like where the main story is taking place, the original 6 Olympians are MIA. Nobody knows where they are. Athena is currently the one hosting the throne to Olympus.
Okay, although I don't have a drawing for him, I did have put in a Pluto. So, yeah, I know. Those were done. I'm not sure how long ago. Those drawings. So, they are nowhere close to my best. They're nowhere close to my worst either, but. Yeah, I think that's all of the ones that I actually did do. It's
actually one of the chapters I'm writing right now for the literature form of X Dynamis Chaos, which is way further ahead than the webcomic is.
Yeah.
And they're about to run into Heracles.
Hello, Ulrich. How are you, Ulrich?
Which I use the proper name, Heracles.
Heracles?
Yeah, Heracles. It's means in Hera's honor.
Mighty
because for some
Heracles.
reason, everybody likes to use the Roman name for the character with all the like Greek god names. It's like, well, yeah, but Hercules wasn't the son of Zeus. Peter. Heracles is the son of Zeus.
Let's see. Ulrich says he's good and happy Thanksgiving, especially to Metal, since he lives in a free state. And he says also hello to Marsupio. Marsupio says, knock knock. Timothy says, well, it's how we say it.
Oh, and speaking of like mythical creatures with weird origins that have changed, like out of nowhere for no reason, is the Gorgon, which is specifically Medusa.
Yeah.
Due to Hollywood, that we even have the current image of her, right? Because you know Medusa, she doesn't have a snake body.
Yeah, she just has snake hair, body.
Yeah, that's it. She actually has a very attractive woman's body, though the only difference is that she's got like bat wings and a tail. So she kind of looks like I guess a traditional depiction of a demon almost. She's like a really attractive woman with snake hairs, bat wings, and a tail. And she was always a Gorgon. That's something that's also changed about the story that doesn't make any sense. She never became a Gorgon. She was always a Gorgon. If you wanted to like consider her anything, even though that's not a depiction for things in Greek mythology, Fae folk would be a good description of her. She was kind of like a lesser god, below like the Olympians, above humans.
Hello, Shinobi. Let's see. Sorry for cutting you off. Timothy says, Chief Convoy is called Optimus Prime over here. Yeah. Howard says he's been busy week because Thanksgiving had little time to watch streams. Yeah, no problem. Timothy's, tell me how much it has changed. And then he says that seems more terrifying than what Hollywood has done. I guess the good-looking woman with the snake's hair that can turn you to stone.
Well, and she was like over 6 feet tall, right? That bad. I mean, you don't really see that many women over 6 feet tall. But you're also talking about that this myth proliferated in a day where some of the tallest people in society, the Spartans, were 5'2". So if you were like your average 4'10" man, heard about this giant over 6 foot tall woman with snake hair, bat wings, and a tail, that would be, reason to change your pants.
Marsupial says she's just had a huge head that shoots laser beams and snakes at you, according to Kid Icarus, at least.
Yeah. Actually, I'll tell you what the actual story is because it's changed a few times too. If the furthest back you go, you realize that she was always a Gorgon. She was never a woman. That was one of the changes to it, because a lot of people, it's a woman that was turned into that form as punishment or whatever. No, she was always a Gorgon. You even find her mentioned with the other two Gorgon sisters in earlier days before the days of man. And in the story, she tempted many men to get what she wanted, including Poseidon by the end. And she tempted him and didn't give up to him, which is why he eventually, and she was basically raped, but at her own cost. Like she was kind of asking for it, which is a horrible thing to say, but that is how the story goes, and it's framed that way. And she was calling for help. There's actually two different versions. I think both of them are about equally likely. And it's one time she asks from Hera, but Hera honestly wouldn't care, really. She was kind of a heartless person.
You mean heartless gods?
I could see her doing this to the other one. Yeah. Well, the gods were kind of people, the way they acted. I mean, they were forces of nature. The stories treat them as forces of nature. So they weren't easily compelled like people were with a hurricane, right? And that was kind of the point to the way they were written. But the one that makes more sense is she was calling out to Athena, who is the virgin goddess. And Athena, who had been watching her, is like, yo, I saw what you were doing. I'm not going to help you. In fact, I'm actually going to punish you for this. And you will never be able to tempt a man again, because if you guys make eye contact, he will turn to stone.
Rick had said earlier, correct, just snakes for Hera, and she was betrayed by, I believe, Zeus, and then Hera, after Medusa came to Hera, or was it Artemis? Timothy Marsupio corrects Elric's I say grammar, but spelling, I should say, of Hera. Timothy says they heard about dunking abilities and they were filled with fear. Okay. Oh, just pronounce things normally, Mr. Prestige.
I am pronouncing things normally. You guys aren't. These things were pronounced this way for generations.
And so it was Poseidon. The Greek gods give 0 Fs. I'll laugh out loud. Wonder Woman defeated.
Yeah, well, that's another funny thing too, right? Because you see people trying to argue about stories like were the Greek gods in the right or the wrong, were their actions justified or not. But what people don't understand is the way these stories were written is that the actions of the gods are outside of the realm of justification. There's no validity or justification to what they do. They're basically treated like forces of nature, right? That's like asking, was a tornado justified in tearing apart a trailer park?
Yeah. And then
they just do.
Then they are quote unquote gods. So, if they've made love or whatever, however you want to say it, then they have the right to punish people for the various things that they did, like for misusing love or whatever,
Yeah.
Although technically, I wouldn't say somebody who made the guitar would have be able to punish somebody for misusing the guitar, but probably your punishment for misusing guitar is that it gets broken. Alex says kind of like Godzilla. I'm not sure what he's referring to exactly. But yeah, if a god is quote unquote punishing you, then usually they have they have the right to, because they are quote unquote a god.
Yeah. What's funny too is so people consider Zeus to be like the most important of the Olympian gods, right? Because he was the king, he sat on the throne, but he's actually, if you pay attention to the practices of the people, not the most important of the Olympians. His older sister, Hestia. And Hestia is the goddess of the hearth and of the kitchen. And she had no temples of her own, which is why a lot of people forget about her importance. But the thing is, because she was the goddess of the hearth, any single time that you gave an offering to any other god, you also gave an offering to her. Like, you came with a little extra, and that was the offering for Hestia. So even if you were going to give an offering to Zeus, you were also giving an offering to her as well.
Yeah,
and she was the one that people believe protected the home and stuff like that, and kept families safe and well fed, and kept things like domestic violence down and everything like that.
Yeah.
And she never left the kitchen.
Was there even
that's actually true to their story too. Like, up in Olympus, she never, ever, ever left the hearth. She was always around it. If there was a war going on, nope, Hestia is still there.
Somebody's got to cook, right? Somebody's got to make sure everybody's fed.
Yeah.
Ulrich says Godzilla is basically a force of nature created by man. Chernobyl said, did the gods give her shoes at least?
I'm actually not quite sure about that. I think sometimes she's occasionally talked about wearing, like, pure white sandals. But most of the time she's barefoot. Like, any depiction of her, she's barefoot. Which, I mean, Olympus is a very, very clean place. You know, it's the realm of the golden gods and stuff like that. So it's not like she had to wear shoes inside what was effectively their housing. She was home all the time, so I think that was personal preference.
Let's see, Marsupa said she had poor blood circulation, had to stay warm. And Timothy's like, the feminists would hate that goddess. And I worked like, wait, she's the goddess of the kitchen? I'd love to see the woke crowd read about that.
Of course, many of the gods and goddesses who left Olympus were, like, often barefoot because, you know, they didn't wear armor. They didn't need armor. They were, you know, basically made of gold from the descriptions that they had. These were powerful beings who weapons could not pierce. Why would they walk around with shoes if they were more comfortable without them?
Yeah.
Now, often you'd get statues and depictions of them wearing sandals or clothes that the common person would, well, maybe not the commoner, but, like, the type of person you would see around the capitals and stuff the rich people would wear. Just because you always want to depict the gods as representing your people or you representing them, vice versa, whichever one makes you feel better. But no, they didn't have to wear armor or shoes or anything. They just walk around and, like, thorns couldn't pierce their feet. Yeah, only when it suits them.
Yeah. Well, probably hence what. Not that it would surprise me. Hence, when Paul, I think, was in, well, I forget where he was. He was outside some village or in some village, and, you know, he got bit by a snake and nothing happened to him. So no wonder they thought they were gods. You know, not affected by getting bit by this poisonous snake. Of course, Paul said right away, or tried to say right away, hey, not gods.
What's funny is in the past, not everybody wore shoes all the time.
Yeah.
Especially because shoes were a hard commodity to come by, right? except in certain areas, like say the Far East, as they call it now, like China and stuff, where you had shoes made out of cotton, which you still didn't want to wear through very much.
Yeah. Or there's the wooden ones that they had in the Orient or whatever.
Yeah. Also, making shoes was a difficult talent that took a lot of time to invest into, and you probably only had like maybe one shoemaker for every couple hundred people. So if you had shoes, you were saving them for when they were necessary. If maybe you were working construction or something, if you had to cross a desert because your bare feet would burn from the sand, you didn't want to wear your shoes out very often.
Yeah.
Rich people would wear shoes all the time. And especially when shoes became more complicated and they weren't just like pads of leathers with straps on them. You start actually getting full-blown cobblers and stuff. Shoes started becoming more and more expensive, harder and harder to make, so you didn't want to wear them out as much. Yeah, a lot of people just walked barefoot from place to place. Some people, in Asian culture, would be barefoot outside and only slip on shoes when they get inside, out of respect for the house that they're in.
Again, yeah, I could see that. Even in Middle East culture, or Israel, because I know they had somebody at the door, the lowest servant. It was the lowest servant's job to watch people's feet as they came in. So, oh hey Gary,
go back to you walking around barefoot metal. Oh hey Gary.
Hey Gary, it's a happy Thanksgiving to you too, Gary.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving. No, well, I guess partially, but no, the main reason I do that is I like walking barefoot. It's comfortable, it's natural. You work all the muscles in your feet and you get to flex them out. And I'm a martial artist, so I want tough feet.
Yeah.
It's on the bottom.
Yeah, oh heck, around my house, I'm always in bare feet too. When we used to live just outside of town, when I was a kid, I was going bare feet a lot there too.
And the funny thing is, I'm inside right now and I'm actually wearing shoes. I have a pair of cotton sole, like Chinese kung fu shoes on.
Hey Gary, how was your Thanksgiving? Were you able to actually celebrate your Thanksgiving? How you normally would? Yes, that is.
Hey, Rick is.
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
that's good. Yeah, you want to come on?
It's your boy, the metal.
You want to come on for a bit, Gary?
What martial art do you practice, Metal? In the past, I've practiced Taekwondo, Judo, specifically the Okinawan strand of Karate, which I picked up from a guy that I knew in college. But honestly, right now, I'm trying to pick up Shaolin Kung Fu. But it's really hard. Expert in that, where I am. So most of it's just personal study, and I can't be sure if I'm doing things quite right. I've got a good inkling just because I've done enough martial arts that I can tell if my body's moving properly or not, but it's some of the things you just can't tell if you're doing right if you don't have somebody to watch you do it who's an expert.
Hello, Rosetta. How are you? Rosetta. She says, happy murder frat. Bastard turkey day.
What belts have you earned? I actually stopped doing the belt system after I think it was my orange or purple belt in Taekwondo. I got disillusioned with it. I started looking up the history of martial arts too and realized this system is stupid. I have a lot of disrespect for the Dan ranking system. So I went back to the old way of finding experts and doing some type of apprenticeship under them, having them teach me. And now mostly it's just personal study if I can't find that.
And Gary,
that was in high school, which we had a class for that.
I sent you a link on Twitter if you want to come in.
It's very weird that we actually had a judo class in my high school. But judo's weird too because it's not a full martial art. There's the jiu-jitsu that the samurai practiced, but judo is known as the friendly way. And that's only a sport. It has some of that old practice in it. You get belts from competing directly with people, and there weren't any real competitions around here. None of us ever went to anything. So everybody in the class was always white belt. You actually had to actively compete to get your belt up. Just a really, like, I get it, you earned it, but at the same way, it's like, if you don't have a circuit near you, how are you going to earn it? You can't just compete in class until your skill's ready. Yeah. But I actually kind of prefer the old system, though, which they kind of taken it from. The old system was that everybody wore a sash, and the person wearing the sash was, if you were a student, you were wearing the white sash to represent the yin, and if you were the master, you were wearing the black sash to represent the yang. Black sash, until your master basically told you that you were good enough to be teaching it, and then you were no longer a student. So you went and taught it yourself. But if you returned back to the class with the other people, then you put that white sash right back on because you're a student that day.
Her hair's still not the best. I just drew up Venus. So she looks a little better. And I think the hands are a bit big, maybe. Rosetta says nothing like a good master, and she says, the day was good, right now is not. Trying to draw to distract myself. And Timothy says, a friend of mine got his black belt and he had to show everything to get it.
See, I have no respect for the black belt, though. Because basically, I mean, there's some good things to it. It does mean you know how to study. It means you can regurgitate what you've studied. You built up the muscle memory. But most black belts I've ever met aren't worth their salt in a fight. I've sparred against a lot of them, and most of them are just awful. And, you know, it's the art is the way. It's about getting better. It's about self-improvement. It's about discipline and stuff like that. But you're not really getting into it if you're not sparring properly.
No.
And I think that's one of the reasons why many arts have become laughable, is because they've lost their edge from bad sparring practices, or basically becoming dance routines.
Yeah, yeah, I see a lot of movies choreograph a lot too.
Well, you can even see in the place where martial arts used to be the biggest at one point in time, China, they've lost all of the edge by bad sparring practices. Actually, on average, you probably get a better education on martial arts here in the States just because we have better sparring practices than they do in China. China's basically become all dance routine. Many of like these classic forms are just they've lost all combat effectiveness to them.
Well, let's see. Timothy says, "I don't know. I sparred against one and got kicked in. Kicked in the guy by accident. Yeah, I respect them."
I think he means gut. I think that's kicked in the gut.
Yeah, but how good of a fighter are you? I'd say I'm not too bad, but I don't think I'd actually be able to beat a black belt in martial art. any martial art.
Well, the fact of the matter is, most people on the planet are bad at fighting.
Yeah.
Just in general. Like, it's one of those things that if you're competent at fighting, you're basically already in the top 10% of people when it comes to fighting. But then when you consider how many people on the planet, the top 10% of fighters is still like, what, 750 million people?
He says not good at all.
Yeah.
Did not stick with it long enough. Rosetta says, I'm not, but I've had to fight to survive, except for you, right, Metal?
Yeah.
Tim, check your DM, says Rosetta.
Like, it's really not that hard to get into the 750 million people who are decently competent at fighting. Yeah, welcome to McDojo. Most of them are McDojos, honestly.
I know a couple people I know have said they're, we're supposed to be real good at in the martial arts, and I'm not sure how true it was, whether they were just saying stuff to make themselves look good or not, but I took them out very easily. So,
well, it's like why initially I had a lot of respect for MMA and UFC, which on the local circuit level, I still have a lot of respect for them. It's just there's way too much politics involved at the higher level. But some of the best fighters I've ever met don't even have belts, and they picked it up practically in the gym sparring with people.
Rosetta says, I know nothing about the martial arts, but I had to fight a lot as a child to survive, and I fight freaking dirty. Yeah.
The rules in like UFC MMA become too stupid. That they favor certain types of fighters, and they don't even do things that are good practices because they know they can get away with getting hit, since the referee can pull them off at any point in time. But I know some of the smaller circuits don't play by the same stuff, so they're fine. I actually really like Sanda, Ultimate Sanda, which is like these kind of like kung fu kickboxing thing. It's a lot more hands-on. The rules are very limited. They go for very long periods of time.
Okay. Okay, Timothy's Michelle Watterson is so hot. Okay, where'd that come from, Timothy? I don't even know who that is offhand.
Yeah, and they don't do weight classes. They do skill classes. Where you belong.
Yeah, I think that's
Michelle Watterson, UFC. She's a UFC. She's in the women's strawweight, I believe.
Yeah, I think it should be based on skill, not like weight. Well, is weight? Well,
I get the intent of why weight classes began in the first place.
Yeah.
But I've actually seen like really good fighters who can fight well above their weight class. I've even known some personally who basically got shut out from a possibility at titles and stuff. Just because they were low and the other person just decided not to fight them because they have to accept your challenge.
Yeah. Because I would think, different fighting things, like It doesn't matter really. It matters your skill level, whether you can take on somebody who's, bigger than you. Like, look at Bruce Lee, for example. He could take on probably almost anybody and beat the snot out of him, and he was not that big of a guy.
Yeah, I think it is top weight Lee, which even then, he good fighter, but he's still more of an actor than not. I would expect him to be able to take on many people, but there are definitely better fighters than him by a large margin. I think at his top weight, he was like 135, so he wouldn't even qualify for like most of the thing. I think that puts him down in either lightweight or most of the time he'd be bantamweight.
Yeah, and he could probably take out any of the guys in the heavyweight. I would think.
Featherweight. Actually, probably even featherweight. I don't even know if he's most of the time lightweight. It's featherweight and bantamweight, yeah.
Timothy wants me to send Rosetta a link. Well, the question is, does she want a link? I know I heard that for when he was filming, they had to slow down the cameras for him.
Yeah.
I sent her a link.
Of him and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar when they were fighting in Game of Death.
Yeah.
But the thing is, that seems like a crazy feat. You probably would have had to slow that down for almost any competent martial artist who was actually throwing punches at full speed. The cameras didn't have that high of a frame rate back then.
Yeah.
So you'd be losing some things.
Well, I think Timothy already sent you the link.
I mean, most of these movies, for a long time, they were still just shooting them around 24 frames per second because that was just the standard for cinema. I'll be right back.
Don't get annoyed at me for taking the link Tim's sent. He's in trouble. No. Just hopefully you can come in with that one. Should be able to. Hello. Rosetta?
Yes.
Okay, I can hear you. How are you?
Well, troublemaker apparently, and Tim's really good at encouraging that, so hey.
Yeah, sometimes he can be.
Well, I'm telling him that I'm bored and lonely because my husband had to go to bed early, so then he decides to create a way to make that not be the situation.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's good.
That's Tim.
Yeah. We've gotten to know him over the last few months here.
I'm back.
He's an odd duck.
Yeah. Well, most of us around here are.
Not me, I'm a sweet, innocent angel.
Did he tell you his first time on? He's actually been on, but his first time on, he was running his Melbourne campaign the first time. We run him through the ringer.
Well, somebody's got to. He's such a brat.
No.
And me calling somebody a brat, that says a lot. I'm weird anyways. When I actually am sketching, it's pen and paint.
Cool. Timothy said it was a shit show. I wouldn't say that, but
well, a lot of what he does is. I mean, hi, Tim.
I mean, I kind of agree with him. Mostly because he really wasn't prepared to answer
half a tenth of our questions.
I think it was probably a good learning experience for him, though.
If he was at least, friendly and not whining about other people's success, then he is better than my last interview that I gave somebody.
In that regard.
That was the closest I ever came to booting somebody. Oh my god. Like, I'm not the kind to get crabby at people I'm interviewing or boot them, but boy, I was close that day.
Yeah. Well,
and I'm like, do I want to just make this interview disappear from my history? Yeah. And like, I can handle if people have crazy ideas, crazy beliefs, disagree with me, all that stuff. It's when they get really rude, insulting to those who are trying to buy stuff, and then, bashing and complaining and condescending. They're just like, shut up.
Yeah. Especially if you mean it. Like, you seen Dylan in the chat. He does it, but he does it jokingly. He doesn't mean half of it.
Tim! Oh my god, Tim, that's bad. You know exactly what you're saying with that comment. And Tim out there trying to give away who it was.
Oh, I'm guessing who it is based on that comment, yeah.
Tim, you're a troublemaker. Whereas I'm a good girl.
Oh no, Tim totally is a troublemaker. We're playing a tabletop RPG right now, and he decided he wanted to be a thief so he could try to steal from his teammates.
Okay, how do I change camera on this damn system?
Go up to the top where it shows. Do you want to show what you're showing, or just show a different camera that you have?
I was just going to switch to a different camera.
Okay, then if you go down a little...
I think I found it.
3 dots.
Yeah.
Maybe found it. It doesn't want to recognize it. Come on, really? No, it's not going to recognize my desk camera. Well, fine. See how you are. Stupid system. Never have been much of a fan of Google for a lot of reasons. Like, I was going to kind of show the stuff I'm working on, but it doesn't want to let me.
The only call that ever seemed to work was specifically the studio version of Hangouts for streaming, and they had the nerve to cancel that.
Yeah. That was when I first started streaming last year, was right before they ended the old Hangouts. So I got like a month or 2 of experience under it, and then everything switched, and StreamYard basically started theirs right after, as a way to get all those people that had lost where they could stream. And what StreamYard did was brilliant. They found a way to latch in and take that market.
Yeah, they sure capitalized on that.
Yeah. I used them for...
And I like them because they're very idiot-proof. I mean, I'm not good with technology. I'm really not.
Yeah, I used them for quite some time till I was able to get a better computer that, would stream properly with OBS.
I hate OBS. It's way too much work for me to understand it.
I like it a lot.
Just realize I suck with technology.
I just realized there's a lot I can do with it. I haven't utilized it to its full capacity yet.
Tim went really quiet, and that's really dangerous. He brought me in here, and then he went quiet. I'm wondering what he's up to, little bastard.
Well, he does have the link too, so...
Yeah, he could haul his doofus butt in here. I mean...
Oh, he had to get coffee.
No, he didn't. He wanted to.
I just want to know if he actually got his new mouse yet. Like, I know he has until Saturday, but sooner the better. He has this problem right now. His old mouse broke or whatever. So I think he's having to use like his touchpad or something. But there's just like this. No, oh, that's right. He can't be this Saturday. It's the Saturday after that. He'll get it by next week. But he has this problem where you keep hearing like these
clicks,
tapping noises over and over again. Yeah. And is bothering like everybody else in the call and probably the people watching too.
Well, he's really good at being annoying, so it's just right up his alley. Yes, he was trying to help me have company when I'm stressed out and lonely, and I'm returning the favor by insulting him. But other than that... About me as a friend. Great at drawing faces. It's definitely my weak spot.
I think drawing in general is my weak spot.
Well, I'm really just learning still, and I have from my fingers all up into my spine from seizures, so...
Okay.
And it makes it really fun trying to do some of this stuff. As you can probably kind of imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the most sarcastic way of using the term fun.
Me sarcastic ever. I'm a pure innocent angel. Waiting to see if Tim says anything in chat.
Eagles has a new Shadowcast episode is up.
I'll have to check that out.
And Tim says he's more of a creator / writer.
/ pain in the ass /
Well, I slowly had to become all of it because, yes, I was a creator at first, basic ideas, but, you know, with nobody else to do any work, no money for anything, you know, because I'm like 12, 13, something like that.
See, I have a whole concept for a comic series, but I was knowing in hell I can do the artwork right now. And finding an artist that can actually do that style of artwork is not proving easy.
What style of artwork, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, when I do the comic, I have to have it mimic family artworks because of what the story's about. So I'm trying to find people who can actually mimic traditional Old West native artwork from my father's great uncle.
Okay.
So it's complicated. You have to basically be able to do tribal art.
Okay.
Believably.
I'm not sure what it... I think various tribes are different, so I'm not sure.
Trust me, Timothy. Nobody knows enough about this idea to make it happen without me. Nobody.
Well, that's why, like, I just throw all of my ideas out for people to hear. Because what they don't realize is that my stuff is secretly actually just a puzzle, so you could know everything. But if you're not experiencing it in order, you're not going to figure the puzzle out.
Yeah. Mine's sort of like...
Well, the stuff I'm trying to do is literally my family history and the recurring dreams I've had since I was a child. So, if they can figure out how to write it and create my story, good.
It was more aimed at Rick.
What?
Get 5 women.
Only me and Metal can see that at the moment.
I know. He's got his camera set. I have YouTube running still.
Yeah, let's see. I still say I.
My husband put monitors everywhere, and
oh, nice.
I don't. He told me to, so I don't kill the computer. How it operates. Magic Computer Man made it and put it together for me, and I trust him. I do as he said. I am so not good at technology.
Yeah. See, I wish people would listen to me when they have me sit up there like reels and stuff.
So I figure.
What's up for you? Why are you doing other things?
I figure I trust him.
Oh, Timothy, I keep a lot of my ideas to myself before they're fleshed out. Some of my characters, yes, I don't have them fully fleshed out, but I don't think you get characters, you can have characters fully fleshed out for, right at the beginning. At least for, a comic book.
Well, I mean, it depends what you mean by fully fleshed out.
Yeah. The
middle? They are at that point in time, but you can have, like, how a character is at the start of a story completely fleshed out. You just may not know where they're going to go yet.
Yeah. Yeah, he's called me out about not knowing, maybe how strong the Canadian Shield is. Well, or something like that. That's because I don't know, or I use a character.
Did you save that picture I sent you?
Pardon?
Did you save that picture I sent you?
Which one?
In Discord. In the middle, it says, "How well do you know your character?"
Oh, yeah. Well, I didn't. I'm not sure whether I saved it, but
it shouldn't be that hard to find.
Yeah. You sent that.
If you can ask or answer those questions, at least the important ones, like obviously, if your character doesn't know what a movie is, maybe be like, what was his favorite mythical story growing up or whatever. If you can answer all of those questions about a character, that's as fleshed out as a character needs to be at the start.
No,
you have no problems with your character at that point.
Who are you drawing, Rick? Well, this is for my characters, although I gave him this is the Wiz a little bit more grown up than Secto, Flame, Canadian Shield.
So,
that was Venus. Okay.
I'm gonna have to go down to the shop and get a bunch of this stuff scanned and reprinted and stuff tomorrow.
Okay.
I'm not laying colors down on top of the originals for obvious reasons.
Yeah. Okay, so I know you sent it to me. Where did you put it again?
No, I put it in the Discord. I could send it to you because I still have it separately.
Okay.
Make it easier to find. Because otherwise, you'd be scrolling up through your general chat for like weeks. Let me send it directly to you.
But watching people struggle to find things can be really fun.
Oh yeah, I can. I agree.
Not that I have a sadistic side or anything.
Oh, I found it.
Okay, I'm pretty sadistic. I think I just, I make Rick suffer enough. Sometimes I can be nice to him.
No, you can't.
I'll save image.
I also have a tendency to do a lot of drawings based on actual pinups or actual people, and then like give them more butt and boobs.
Doesn't everybody do that?
Yeah, but I'm just trying to make them have more of my curves. So. And one of these days, I'm going to really, I keep getting into it with feminists because they seem to dislike when I put up the hashtag for big boob representation.
But why are they body shaming? Some people have big boobs.
I know, right? I keep telling them, you keep acting like having a chest or butt means you're automatically sexual. I take offense to that, considering how young I was when I had this chest.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Well, everything only goes one way with them.
Should I say that way, or should I play nice? Probably deserve you play nice.
They can't decide when it's always flip flopping depending on whatever point they want to make, because.
Well, remember, it's okay to body shame as long as the woman has a lot of curves.
Yeah.
It's not okay to body shame if they just abuse themselves.
Yeah.
You have to be inconsistent as F.
Man. Normally, eating food on Thanksgiving doesn't make me tired. And I didn't even eat the foods that make you tired. But eating food made me tired.
Well, that's not good. I think.
I don't know, maybe I'll get to sleep at a normal time for once. Probably not, but...
Sleep?
What's that?
It's not bad when the sun's up.
Is sleep that thing you're supposed to do in the bed when you're not having, marital fun or something?
Yeah.
Sometimes you just forget it even happens because you wait till you completely black out and it's like the time just skipped.
Not really, but I'm just weird.
What to do next for 15 minutes.
I have no idea what I'm actually creating on this girl right now. A big butt, that's what I'm doing. Beyond that, who knows?
It's good to always have a starting place.
Well, I already gave her ginormous tits, so hey. Gotta have a little balance.
Yeah.
I mean, if I give her too big a tits and no butt, she'll just look like she's falling over.
Yeah, for sure. Things have to be proportional.
Yeah, I've just been writing this short script this whole time.
Yeah. That's what I actually gotta do for tomorrow. I'm gonna write a short script.
I should be filling out all the technical stuff in my Eagle book, but that actually takes a lot of patience. So hey.
Yeah, that's why I don't normally work on stuff when I'm on Rick's stream. Or if I do, I'll work on something I don't have to pay attention to a lot. Because I have to keep looking at the chat and everything.
I can handle, working and modding and everything else all at the same time. It's the fact that taking all the photos, doing all the hikes, doing all the work, picking out the prints, designing the book, layouts, backgrounds, all that was fine. It's filling out all the technical data, filling out all the information, and doing the finalizing on every page.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like, I don't want to do this. It's like, you've just put in how long, woman, finish. But my brain's like, oh, this is boring shit.
Yeah.
And like the rest, even the hard parts, at least there was creative stuff in it, you know?
Are you drawing now, Rick?
I have no idea. I'm just making stuff up as I go along.
That's usually a good method of doing things.
I'm still learning, so I've got friends helping me create. We're going back and forth and creating digital base grayscales together, and then we're doing all the drawings based on those together after. So it's like 3 or 4 of us working on these constantly, and then I finish them. That's kind of weird, but it helps me learn.
So basically, after I'm done this drawing, if I get done it, I'm going to have either a full sketch or partly sketch of some character that I'll have to name at some point or use to a name that I have. And
you don't have to. Sometimes it's fun just to sketch something you're going to throw away.
Yeah, well,
it's just an exercise.
For me, a lot of stuff, like I'll keep this for 10 years and then finally give it a name or put it to something.
Oh man, you have no idea how many characters I've drafted up and just left it to the trash.
Yeah. Well, I might have come up with names like that or whatever. I've got a whole pile of crap like that. I've got drawings with. They're not associated with any name, and I don't know whether they ever will be. But I just keep it around just in case. Because you never know. What might be, what you might think will work for a name at some point in the future. So Timothy's gone quiet in the chat again.
Who's going to beat him up?
Well, I can't. I'm too far away from him.
I don't actually know where he is, I don't think. I'll have to figure that out.
Say a 4-hour drive.
Oh, that's not bad. There's several friends in my different communities that person several times that are within a few hours, but then there's some of the people that I've met in my different communities that were very far away that it was ridiculous that I drove to meet them, but it was still fun.
Yeah. Because Tim and I think, if I'm remembering, we're in the same state, but, a giant state. Deep in the heart of Texas.
Yeah. And I'm like a couple-day journey from either one of those guys.
Well, it'd probably be quite a journey for me since I'm in the middle of the freaking country, but...
I'm up here in Canada.
Yeah, he'd stop at Border Patrol first.
Yeah, they might not even let me in right now.
No, don't even start me on that crap.
Timothy says, Salado, Texas.
Salado. I've been through.
Right now, I'm trying to freeform a girl in pen. So I have no idea how this is going to turn out.
Timothy, I've been over the American-Canadian border several times in my lifetime.
I think he's joking when he says yes because Rick looks dangerous.
Yeah, I know he's joking.
It's not about him looking dangerous. They're just not letting anybody through right now.
Yeah.
Really, like either way.
Like, a couple years ago, I took a bus from Buffalo to Los Angeles and then back. And we did go through Texas, at least on the way there. I'm not sure whether we did on the way back, but it was just like we stopped in one town, like in the corner of Texas. I forget which town at this point. Probably if I saw the name again, I would know. Let's see whether I can find that out in the next 10 minutes or 7 minutes.
Oh, actually, he's even closer than I thought. It's only a 2-hour drive.
Like, yeah, I'm in the middle of the country, and when I did my trip, and right before all this crazy travel stuff started and all the lockdowns started, I started in the middle of the country here, went down into Florida and met up with a bunch of guys, and then through the south, into Cali to meet several others, and then back. Ended up being, before I was done with everything, over 8,000 miles driven.
Whew. Yeah, I had to do a trip, not quite as big, in the middle of this whole lockdown thing. I had to go up from Dallas area to Chicago and back.
Well, that'd be a fraction of what I drove, especially since
that's what I said, not quite as big.
I was going to say, especially since I actually went through Dallas area and I live in East Iowa, but hey. Because Chicago's only a few hours from here.
Yeah. We did non-stop, too.
I have no idea who downvoted it. I never do.
That's okay, I've got some dedicated stalkers that always downvote me.
Oh, same here.
I had one day, apparently he was bored with a lot of fake names. I announced a stream, and less than 10 minutes before I even started the stream, it had 65 downvotes.
Ooh, okay, I don't have it that bad.
Oh, I'm good at ticking people off because I won't put up with their crap.
Timothy guessed Dillard, but that's just a guess. And Marsupial's like, this is a wholesome family entertainment, so yeah, probably Dillard.
I am not wholesome. I mean...
Yeah, Timothy's calling you crazy.
Me or you?
No, you. He said you're cray-cray, so you're crazy?
And yet he likes to hang out with me. What does that make him?
A glutton for punishment?
Who's the bigger fool? The fool or the fool who follows him?
I don't know.
I usually go with the latter in that case.
See? I'm good. Tim's the fault.
Larry's here and he says 6 minus 9 equals 114. Not sure that checks out.
Okay, it could have been Perico or text line that we went through. But they don't even sound right.
Tim, get your lazy butt in here.
Oh, the show's almost over.
Oh, that's a good time. Then I can torture him backstage for a minute. That is fun to torture friends. I mean...
yeah, Larry says it's his math, it's his truth. Well, that is how the schools work.
I was going to say that sounded like an SJW.
As long as you can explain how you get to your answer in, like, the Common Core, you're never wrong. It's kind of dumb.
Math that you're never wrong at.
Yeah. Well, you can't be an SJW, Larry. You're a cute anime girl. Those things don't exist together. They hate each other.
I don't know. I've met some SJWs who think they like anime until they actually realize what half of it's saying.
Yeah.
I always laugh because they think they like anime because they want to support minority cultures. And then they're like, oh my god.
Well, they don't have to anymore because, Asians were officially taken off of the minority list. So.
Well, technically speaking, under the definition of what a minority is, Caucasians are minorities because they're not the global population.
Yeah. There's the question is...
And I say that as a woman who's mixed race, who's a natural redheaded native chick. You want to talk about a minority of a minority.
Yeah.
And Sketchbook gets here at the last second. Well, here comes Tim. Probably.
There's only 2 ethnicities that are even close to a majority. It's Chinese, and then after that, Indian.
Yeah. I was going to say...
Racially, the same since they're actually all part of the Asian there.
You called me. You asked me to join in at the last possible second.
Okay.
Yeah, just to give you crap.
That's fair.
Okay. Sketchbook. As for who's on, of course we have Metal. Timothy just joined us, and Rosetta. I'm not sure. What's your last name or whatever?
Probably your highest rated show ever because she's gonna say some crazy shit.
Hey, I've been relatively behaved, thank you.
Rosetta Allen.
Compared to my channel, I was damn tame.
Rebel says redheads are my favorite.
You just got a new fan.
I'm boring.
So, well, unfortunately for everybody It is that time. It is the midnight hour, at least here where I am. And we have been at this 2 hours. Sketchbook says, relative to what? Rebel says he's a simple
relativity.
Oh, I've been really well behaved if any of you ever actually see any of the stuff I actually do.
Can't argue there.
Shut the...
Okay, let's see.
Anyway.
Let's pin Timothy down here for a second. Hey, Timothy, anything you want to promote?
You can still sign up for Nova #1 on Indiegogo. And I am currently going to be working on a webcomic book.
Cool. So, Rosetta, anything you would like to promote?
Well, first of all, Back Tilt 2, and there's artwork there that I actually helped on that I'm credited with for the variant cover and for the deck of card add-on.
Uh-huh.
And then, other than that, keep an eye on my channel. I'm working on a pinup book for military charities. So.
And what is your channel? Just so people know.
Just look for Rosetta Allen, you'll get there. Trust me.
Okay.
Hard to miss with the giant eagle freaking banner on it.
Okay.
Because I'm working on a book of eagles.
Okay.
They're pretty cool too.
And Metal, anything you want to promote?
As always, just go to xdynamischaos.com where you can see all of my work. I've got a ton of stories that you can read, both in comic and prose form. It's also a shop. Stuff. I need money.
Yeah. I think we all need that.
Boy, that didn't come out that well.
Well, I want to thank each of the panelists for coming on and sharing their time with us. Also, I'd like to thank everybody in the chat for coming by and sharing their time with on this Thanksgiving. So happy Thanksgiving, everyone. And be sure to check out my website. There's a few things that you can buy over there. Or go to my Redbubble or Teespring. There's whole lots of different cross-comic products you can get there. So we'll catch y'all.
We know you want his t-shirts.
Yes.
Get them.
Yeah. Well, Blue Jays may suck for you, Marsupial, but I think they're pretty good. I like the Blue Jays. But then again...
I have an idea. You should totally make a Canadian Shield shirt. You should totally make a Canadian Shield t-shirt that looks like a Blue Jays.
Okay.
T-shirt. His head looks like the logo.
I don't end every time you show up, Rebel, but I do, you've got to time better. So, yeah, thanks everybody for showing up, and go check out the links in the description. We'll catch y'all later. Tomorrow I am doing some stuff on some cross-comic shorts, and of course tomorrow night we are gaming here. So we'll catch y'all later. Bye for now. God bless. Love you all. Have a great and wonderful day.